I really thought you guys were going to be the ones to do a good job of my property, and I'm honestly a little disappointed. I'm reading this email and I'm like, dude, I was at your house. He did not believe that we went to the property. Documentation is a form of setting boundaries and expectations, right? But it's also a form of protection. And I'll tell you the story, what I mean by that. So we got an inquiry for a new co-hosting client that wanted to onboard with us. We were super excited, right? He was really excited. One of the first things that we always do is we check out the property, either virtually, right, which is more common through pictures and photos and whatnot, but sometimes we'll actually go and walk the property. In this case, I went to go and walk the property, right? So I pull up, there's nobody there, as I expected. I had access information, so I went ahead and accessed the property. I checked out the bathroom, snapped a couple of pictures, went in and looked at the living room. Everything was kind of, basically set up like a short-term rental, a basic short-term rental, right? Obviously, it didn't have the Michael touch on it. It didn't have the art house ABB touch on it. So there's a couple things I wanted to note. So I took pictures of the couches and the kitchen and just different areas of the home. I was there, gosh, I guess no more than maybe 8 to 10 minutes, and then and I left. Right. So I go back to the office, and so I follow up with the guy. I was like, "Hey, John, went and saw your property. Got a few tips." And here's what they are. You need some greenery, you need some artwork, you need to make sure the couch is kind of, revitalized, looks kind of old, looks like a frat house couch. I didn't say that, but that's what it kind of looked like. And I had pictures to prove it. And so he responds to us and says, "Hey, you know what? I really thought you guys were going to be the ones to, do a good job of my property, and I'm honestly a little disappointed." And so I'm continuing down this email that he sent. He said, I'm really pissed off you guys just sent me this canned message that you send to all your property owners about how they need to spend all this money and make these updates on their listings. And you guys didn't even go to the property, you didn't even look at it. If you went there, you would have saw X, Y, and Z, and you also would have saw that there were ants on the counter, and you would have saw that there was a brand new bed in the back bedroom. I'm reading this email and I'm like, dude, I was at your house and I saw what needed to be like my honest recommendations, and he did not believe that we went to the property, right? So what did I do? I said, well, I opened up my smartphone and I went right to those pictures, and I responded completely respectfully, and I said, listen, John, I personally, right, because he had no idea. He thought maybe if we had gone, it would never have been me, the owner of the company. I said, I personally went to your property, John, and I pointed out these things because I think it's going to add a lot of value to your home. And he responded again. Meanwhile, I hadn't sent the pictures yet because I really just wanted to establish that we're telling the truth, and I'm giving him honest feedback. I'm giving him credible details about the things I saw in his home. And he says, I can't believe you guys are a bunch of liars. He said, I got a Ring camera up there. It never went off. There was no alert. I know that no one ever went to that house. And I said, well, the only thing I have left to do is not trusting our words, right? Even though I'm being very professional with them. I'm just going to send him all the photos that I took of his property. And the next response, I sent him every single photo that I took in his property. And at that point, I'm not a petty person. But I really wish that I could have been there when he opened that email and saw all of the photos that I took of his property, right? To prove that I was actually there. And so not only did I thank myself that I took those photos, but I wanted to really use that as a moment to reinforce that what we say and what we do is with 100% trust, right? And he has no reason not to trust us. So I was really thankful that we had that documentation in place, as you should with every single engagement, especially when it comes to new relationships and people that you just meet or that you're trying to establish trust in a relationship with a new person that you're working with. I was really happy that we had the documentation in place, because the response that I got after I sent those pictures was it was immediate apology, right? He was super apologetic. And I didn't say anything bad about how he was coming at us or discrediting what we were demonstrating or telling him. I just said, hey, you know what? As part of our service, not only are we going to help you in facilitating getting some of these recommendations and updates done, but we're gonna help you fix your Ring camera because it's obviously not working. So he was just really happy about that. And you know, it just goes to show you just, you know, documentation throughout every single process is really important. So I'll leave that with you guys. This is more like on the administrative side of things, you know, the behind the curtain stuff that no one likes to really talk about. So obviously as a business owner, right, you are always trying to solve problems, right? And I often find that you are also trying to find time, right, to solve those problems. And what you constantly run into is that you don't have enough time to solve all the problems. So you're constantly doing these weird chasing paths. You're chasing more time to solve the problems that keep coming up. So in an event, one of the biggest problems that I still have is not only can I not duplicate myself yet, but there's still these cohort of tasks that I'm good at, but I no longer enjoy doing them, right? So I almost hate doing them, but they have to be done. They have to be done. One of those things is like reconciling the books, right? This is, as you know, I always talk about monitoring things. You have to be monitoring not only the operational things in your business, but also the financial component, right? It's a huge part in making sure that you're always profitable and you're always spending money where it needs to be spent, and everything at the end of each month is always balanced out. So reconciling the books is a huge, important task. I'm good at it, but I really don't like doing it. So in recognizing that, one of the things that I've done recently is prioritize the time that I spend doing that and finding someone else who's really good at doing that too. But also maybe they enjoy it, right? And ultimately I'm trying to just get it off of my lap. I'm trying to get it out of my cohort of things to do because, again, I don't like doing it. So what does that mean? It means that I've had to go out and find talent, right? People that are really skilled at doing this. I've had to interview them, right? Go and meet with them, talk about what I'm trying to do, what the problem that I'm trying to solve, what the problem is, right? All the tasks that are involved in balancing the books, how to do it right, how I've been doing it, and then making sure that they understand how it needs to be done. So I set time aside to be able to save my future self the time in doing it and the pain in doing it, to find a person who can do it for me. It's not something that I wanted to do, but I realized that, hey, you know what? If I don't put the time in to find someone else to do this, I'm going to have to keep doing it, and it's not going to be fun. So why don't I invest a little bit of time now to find someone else to do it so that I can save myself the time of doing it in the future. And that took time to do, because one of the struggles that you have as a business owner is thinking that you can do everything and you do it the right way, and no one else knows how to do it or can do it as good as you can do it. But you have to just let things go. As you get more and more business, as you become more and more successful, that's going to be a natural pattern of things. You're going to identify things that are taking up your time that you no longer want to do, and then you're going to have to train someone else to do them. And what that does is it frees up your time to do the things that you like to do or that you enjoy doing in the business. And that's really something that you identify over time, right? In the beginning, you're doing everything yourself because everything has to be done. Even you're doing a lot of stuff that you don't like doing. But part of what's keeping you doing it is the excitement of, you know, building a business. But that doesn't last forever. So you very much so need to quickly identify those things that you don't like doing and train them away. Teach other people to do them so you can spend more time doing the stuff that you want to do. Learn that you have to develop that mindset. You got to train yourself to think that way, which is very different from a person who's not a business owner. You don't really think that way naturally. But after you do it for a while, if you're in business for a while, then you realize, dang, if I really want to get to the next level, I need more time. And I don't have time right now because I got to do stupid thing 1, 2, and 3. So then you realize that, oh, I have to train someone to do thing 1, 2, and 3. Then there are people who want to do it, right? Just because I don't want to do it doesn't mean someone else doesn't want to do it. Or doesn't mean that they know how to do it better than I do it. So you identify those people and then you train it away. So develop that mindset early on. Flip that switch so that you can do that much more quickly. You don't have to go weeks after years of, the pain of thinking that it's only one way to do it. And you have to do everything. Yeah. Because you don't.